You're listening to IWW Radio, coming to you from Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. And in the house today, we have Ken Dunn. Ken, welcome to the show.
It's great to be here, Fred. I'm happy to be in Niagara Falls, at least virtually anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Ken, give our listeners a little bit of history and how you started in this business.
Well, I would have to say that I was smitten with music and the acoustic guitar in particular from a very early age. I won't tell you how many years ago that was, but I was probably about 12 years old when I went down to the local pawn shop in Windsor, Ontario, with my allowance money and bought myself a $5 guitar. And I think I was inspired primarily by the fact that my parents had a Gordon Lightfoot vinyl record spinning on the turntable a lot of the time, and I just kind of memorized that. So that was, sort of what inspired me. But I didn't really get into the business of music until I went to Toronto back in the late 60s, early 70s, and decided I was going to be a folk singer. So it was a time when people like Joni Mitchell and Bruce Cockburn and Gordon Lightfoot and just so many people were just starting to really take off. And Yorkville was the place to go at that time. So I started busking and then eventually started playing in small coffee houses and so forth in the early 70s in Toronto.
How did you find busking? You know what? I think it's a very... can I say, universal way to get your music out there. If you're not playing in a club or nobody's hiring you, I don't think of a better place right now.
Honestly, I agree with you. I think I probably made more money busking. Not that money's the sole, reason, but, it was a matter of survival for me, in Toronto. And I would go to what was then the brand new Nathan Phillips Square, open my guitar case, and at lunch hour, all the businessmen would come out and they would drop in, a few bucks, and actually was able to pay my rent with the busking because a lot of the gigs were free. You just, or you got a meal. So it was a matter of survival for me.
Yeah.
And it's a great way, to really, really see the impact that music has at a grassroots level, because it can be kind of depressing in some ways, in front of an LCBO and nobody's listening or whatever, but there's times when some magic can happen as well. So I agree with you. I think it's a great way for musicians of, at any stage in their career to really get out there and just, you want to play, because it's what we want to do as musicians. So I think it makes a lot of sense.
Perfect. Okay, let's carry on here. And this tune is Live in L.A., Don't Believe by Ken Dunn.
Listen to the birds. Listen to the trees, listen to the music and the sound at my knee. Listen to the wind and listen to the sea. Listen to your heart and wear it on your sleeve. Just don't believe, don't believe. Don't believe, don't believe, don't believe, don't believe, don't believe, don't believe. Hear the dogs of war knocking at your door. They don't even know what they are fighting for. They will try to tell you God is on their side, but they cannot tell you why you have to die. Just don't believe, 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 don't believe. When it doesn't talk, it screams and shouts, but it cannot tell you what your life's about. So listen to the wind and listen to the sea. Listen to your heart and wear it on your sleeve. Just don't believe. Don't believe, don't believe, don't believe, don't believe, don't believe, don't believe, don't believe.
You're listening to IWW Radio, coming to you from Niagara Falls, Ontario. And that was Ken Dunn live in LA. Don't believe. Ken, tell our listeners a little bit of how that song was born.
That is a song that I originally performed, I think, first time was at a festival in Hamilton, Ontario, the Festival of Friends, back in I think the mid-90s.
Yep.
And it was meant to be an anthem for peace, a plea for people to really think independently. You know, I think we're so brainwashed by the media and the political forces that control them these days that it was a plea for people to listen to their hearts and their guts, their intuition, and to really trust that. And I hadn't played it for a while, and I pulled it out a few years ago and made it part of my performance repertoire again, and it ended up being on this Live in LA album that I recorded back in this past November when I did a show in Hollywood. So it just found its way onto a record again, and I think this is the first recording of it in over like 20 years. So I'm very happy with the way it turned out. It's just a solo recording, just me and my guitar and vocals, of course. But I think they did a great job recording it. In LA.
Yeah, I was listening to it there, very nice and clear, and I do love the audience aspect of it. And you know what? And I have encouraged other artists, and I don't, to think about this is that what would be nice for an artist to come out with now is a live album, but and when I mean live, it's done so good that there was a lot of prep put into it, there was a lot of whatever put into it, maybe a video with it, but to have an actual live album. They're so far and few now because everybody just wants to go in the studio and just put all the bells and whistles on. But sometimes it's nice to, in regards to the artist, is not to have all the bells and whistles. Because it's nice for people to listen to the artist raw. Can I say, like, this is rootsy, like you are, very rooty, material there, and it's beautiful. I love it, and So.
Yeah, I know what you mean, though. It's, I sort of vacillate back and forth. I love studio production, of course, you know, and you can do so much with, with the tools we have in the studio these days and putting on different musicians. But it's easy to get overproduced and to lose track of, like you say, that roots aspect. And as a singer-songwriter, I really love that raw, pared down, sound that you get when it's just just that one individual playing, or maybe another person, putting in a lead instrument. There's something very immediate and about that I really like. So I was really happy that I was able to get this recording out.
Perfect. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Live in Saskatoon by Ken Dunn.
This is our dog's favorite song. When the fall is near and the day is clear, that's the time I'll come to you. In the morning dew, sparkling flowers too, in an empty sky of blue. And I love you, I love you, I love you, yes I do. I love you, I love you, I love you, it is true. As the days rip by in a world of sighs, there is nothing known for sure, but we'll cast a glance at this one last chance. It is all we'll ever have, and I love you, I love you, I love you, yes I do. I love you, I love you, I love you, it is true. With a winter soon, cracking Saskatoon, there is no place left to hide, but we'll sail our way on that first spring day under a prairie full moon. And I love you, I love you, I love you, yes I do. I love you, oh yes I love you, I love you, it is true. I love you, I love you, oh I love you, yes I do. I love you, oh yes I love you, I love you, it is true. I love you. Thank you.
You're listening to IWW Radio, coming to you from Niagara Falls, Ontario, Ontario, Canada. Yeah, that was live in Saskatoon by Ken Dunn. Ken, give us a little synopsis for our listeners on exactly how that was born, too.
Yeah, Saskatoon was, I was living in Saskatoon, oddly enough, when I wrote that tune. Again, that's an older tune. I meant it as a love song, I